Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Steelers 30 visits make draft plan perfectly clear. The 2025 NFL Draft is quickly approaching, and the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to have narrowed down the position they may want to target. According to Marcus Mosher of the 33rd team, 9 of the Steelers' 30 visits have been used on running backs, with 2 of them coming today. After losing Najee Harris to the Los Angeles Chargers in free agency, the team could be hoping to fill the hole through the draft. The 2 most recent players that visited with the Steelers were Ohio State's Travion Henderson and UCF's R.J. Harvey. Both of these players would most likely be available on day 2 of the draft, which would leave the Steelers to do something else with their first-round pick. Harris finished with over 1,000 rushing yards all 4 years that he was with the Steelers, so replacing him might be easier said than done. The team still has Jaylen Warren, who has shown promise in the past when splitting carries with Harris, finishing with just under 800 yards in 2023. Pittsburgh is currently in a stalemate with veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers over agreeing on a contract. But if the former NFL MVP decides to sign with the Steelers, it would be good to have his weapons upgraded. The Steelers improved their wide receiver core earlier this offseason by adding DK Metcalf in a trade with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the team could be looking to bolster their running back room through the draft in order to help them get back to the playoffs. Steelers Super Bowl champion slams team's pursuit of Aaron Rodgers, makes me sick. Former Pittsburgh Steelers safety and ESPN NFL analyst Ryan Clark criticized the team for how it's handled quarterback Aaron Rodgers in NFL free agency. Former Pittsburgh Steelers safety Ryan Clark is one of the top NFL analysts on television. But he's also considered a proud Steelers alumnus. On Tuesday, Clark's 2 identities intertwined on ESPN's Get Up because of the team's free agency pursuit of quarterback Aaron Rodgers this offseason. Clark didn't necessarily disagree with the Steelers showing interest in Rodgers. But the ex-safety made it clear he would have handled the quarterback's desire to extend his free agency decision very differently. "I mean, it makes me sick, to be honest," Clark said, via 93.7 The Fan's Andrew Filipponi. Unless Omar, the general manager, Omar Khan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, has some sort of promise or some sort of lean on Aaron Rodgers, believing that he is going to come back and play football, and if he does make that decision, he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. "I feel like this has been mishandled already. I feel like to be waiting or to be held hostage by a former quarterback of the New York Jets that's actually never done anything for you. What has Aaron Rodgers done in the last 2 years or since leaving Green Bay that says he should be afforded this type of time? That says that he should give him the sort of respect that keeps your franchise at bay." Rodgers won 4 MVP awards with the Green Bay Packers. He also led the franchise to a Super Bowl victory against Clark and the Steelers in February 2011. But last season, Rodgers posted a 5-12 record with the New York Jets. The veteran quarterback will also turn 42 before the end of the 2025 regular season. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac reported on March 12 the Steelers made Rodgers an offer. Dulac tweeted the quarterback was taking his good OL time about making a decision. To Clark's point, the offer the Steelers have made to Rodgers has presumably remained on the table. Reporters and pundits haven't suggested the 2 sides are still negotiating the contract. Instead, the quarterback has simply continued to mull over his future for a month. Meanwhile, pundits have kept speculating whether Rodgers is waiting for an opening elsewhere. The most popular rumor has been the Minnesota Vikings potentially having interest. More recently, pundits have also suggested the New Orleans Saints and San Francisco 49ers as possibilities. Rodgers could also retire. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin told reporters at the league's annual spring meetings that the team has not given Rodgers a deadline to make a decision on their contract offer. Clark argued Tuesday that the Steelers should immediately change that approach. "I would give Aaron Rodgers a deadline, and when I give him that deadline, it wouldn't lead me into next week," Clark said. I would need to know if you are coming back to play or not this week, and more importantly, if you are coming back to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a proud Steelers alumnus with a national platform, Clark is one of the better voices to listen to for Steelers insight. But in the case of the team pursuing Rodgers, he might not be the most unbiased. It's worth nothing that Clark and Rodgers engaged in a television spat late last year. After Rodgers criticized ESPN personalities, particularly former NFL players, for developing opinions and sports takes for the sole purpose of staying in the national spot, Clark called the quarterback a fraud. The former Steelers safety's argument was that Rodgers made his critic of ESPN while making his weekly guest appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, which airs on ESPN. The beef only got uglier from there, as Rodgers responded by asking Clark about his vaccine status. It's probably safe to say the two aren't friends. For that reason, it's not a reach to suggest Clark probably doesn't want Rodgers to become the starting quarterback where he made his NFL home. Though maybe a bit biased, that doesn't mean Clark's opinion on the Steelers' pursuit of Rodgers isn't any less valid. The 2025 NFL Draft is almost a week away. Yet, the Steelers don't have a starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers' Vikings pitch shows he doesn't want to join the Steelers. The Aaron Rodgers saga continues to drag on as the NFL Draft draws closer, and with every passing day one thing becomes more and more crystal clear in regards to his future. With most teams already having an idea of what they're doing at the quarterback position next season, one team remains in limbo because of Rodgers' slow decision-making. The Pittsburgh Steelers have already lost Justin Fields and Russell Wilson this offseason during free agency, which only leaves the AFC North team with Mason Rudolph ahead of the 2025 season. And while it's conceivable that the Steelers could draft a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart or even Will Howard, their number one priority for months has been Aaron Rodgers. The only problem is despite showing some interest in coming to Pittsburgh, Rodgers has also been looking at his other options throughout the process and reportedly even made a pitch to the Minnesota Vikings about being a one-year stopgap for the franchise. Albert Breer reported Monday that Rodgers went to the Vikings and suggested that he would be the best QB to lead them to a Super Bowl next season and would even help mentor second-year talent J.J. McCarthy, who missed all of last season with an ACL injury. There's no question that if Rodgers went to Minnesota it would be a scary proposition with an offense that features Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison and former Green Bay Packers teammate Aaron Jones. Meanwhile, the Steelers have to be growing frustrated with the Rodgers situation, especially because the team may be publicly backing Rudolph but there's no way they can truly be confident with him leading the way next season in a division with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson on rival teams. And you fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Write to us in the comments.